Hello everybody, this is Danny from Deep South Homestead. On porch time today. We've had a good holiday season this year. Probably one of the better ones we've had in many years. Wanda and I have truly enjoyed having John and Julie from Dirt Patch Heaven here and their family visiting with us and staying with us. It has been a very memorable time for Wanda and I. We will probably cherish this time for the rest of our life. And thank y'all for all your generosity and gifts to the kids and Julie and John and to Wanda and I. That y'all will never know what that means to us, because as two older people, we don't really do a lot of Christmas, and when we have people who actually send stuff, I know in Wanda particularly, it kind of brought the kid out in her, because she loves presents. Even though we're both older and we don't really do a lot of Christmas for each other a lot of times, it brought out the kid in her. But I just want to take that opportunity up front on porch time to tell y'all that y'all are really a blessing to us. And also, I think I can speak for Julie and John at Dirt Patch Heaven. Y'all are really a blessing to them also. And we had a blast Christmas morning, opening up stuff and seeing what people sent, because we made it a practice when people sent stuff this year. We didn't just open it as soon as we got it from the post office. We actually put it underneath the tree and waited till Christmas Day, and thought we'd kind of make that a little bit of special video for y'all, showing us opening up y'all's gifts on Christmas Day. And once again, thank y'all for doing that for us, because we appreciate it. But in porch time today, moving on, I want to, looking back and reflecting on 2016, it's, I've struggled with this about how to say some things. That we just live in a sick world, I guess, is the only way I know how to put that. We've seen so many things trend this year and happen this year that it just seemed like our world has just gone sick. There's things like the seed companies I've uncovered things this year about how they've lied to us, and that's disturbing. And the fact that now more chemicals are being brought into this country to be sprayed on our corn and soybeans and stuff like that, even more toxic chemicals than was before, and the limitation of these chemicals as far as being hazardous to the human body has been raised. And now I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I don't live that kind of lifestyle, but I do believe that these are things that are harmful to our health. And I do believe at times there's agendas behind some of these things. And at the same time, the people who are actually doing this, I've talked to some of them, they really believe that they're doing the world a service. The smaller people in the process of doing it. Now the hierarchy in it, they have an agenda, but a lot of times the smaller people down the line, they really just think they're doing a service to the country and to mankind. And it just goes to show you how deprivation has set in this country, and how depraved man is. And not only that, we've had the thing this year come up about neutral gender restrooms and things like that. I never really thought in my lifetime I'd see these kind of things happening. Things such as the ones who lost in the election, how that they just, like, they went crazy or something. If Trump had lost, I'm sure the conservatives would not have done this. I don't think they would have. I guess we'll never know, but it's one thing we do know for sure, is that the liberal side did go wacko and started running around doing all kind of things, and which, if you didn't like it, just wait 4 years and try to vote again and try to change it. Don't go out and try to destroy everything because of it. to me, it just shows the childish nature of people. And, those that were conservative when President Obama went in, we didn't go around destroying the country just because President Obama went in. We went along with him, and whatever he done, if we didn't like it, we tried to voice our opinion. But we didn't try to destroy the world around us because of it. That's not the American way. And that just, he was our president, and we went along with him, we followed him, and we held him in high esteem. That's what we're supposed to do. That's what we should do. And, it just shows the sickness that's going on in our country today, in our world. And, I know some people say they don't believe in it, but I can actually, I've went out and actually watched here with geoengineering how that right before the rainstorms, you can just watch the sky fill up with chemtrails. I mean, these are things that I used to kind of have some hesitation about believing, but now I look back and I go out, and what can I say? It just happens. I can't say that it's not true because I see it happening on a very regular basis. And it may not happen every time, but predominantly most of the times it does happen. And our society as a whole, it just seems like our world's just getting sicker, and it's not, and we always use this phrase, and please don't get me wrong, we use this phrase that it's not like it was when I was a kid. Well, no, it's not. It's not going to be. Not that I want it to be in some aspects. Let me put it that way. Because when I was a kid, we had some rough times, so I don't necessarily want it to be like it was then. Now, there are some characteristics about those times that I really enjoyed. How simple things was. You didn't have all the noise that you have now. I'll say that. You could go to the store, and if you bought produce at the store, it was good produce. It wasn't covered up in all kind of chemical laden things. It hadn't been irradiated, and there were just so many different aspects of it. Some of those qualities I would say were pretty good qualities. Now, not to say that there weren't chemicals used back then, because there were. Because my dad told me many times that they used arsenic and stuff like that on cucumbers and cabbages and things like that to keep the bugs off of them. And, they used all kinds of different chemicals, but it wasn't as prevalent back then. I mean, I know they had DDT and all these other things that was used on huge cotton crops and soybean fields and stuff like that. But the thing you have to understand is every generation has its problems. People go, I just wish it was the way it was, way back. Well, some generations had polio to deal with. When I was coming up, it was mumps, measles, stuff like that, chicken pox, all this kind of stuff. So every generation that comes along has its problems. And I guess throughout history it's been that way, and I don't really see any change in the future, because it seems like every time you turn around there's something new has come up. But that's not really what I'm talking about. When I talk about we live in a sick world, I mean it's the way mankind views things now that seems to be sick. The Bible says in the last days they'll call good evil and evil good, and it seems like that may be where we're headed now. It seems like that's the kind of stuff that seems to be the norm now. And are we in those days? I don't know. It certainly seems like we might be. But to say we are for sure, I'm not going to sit down and 100% say we are, because throughout history, mankind has always said they lived in the last days because of whatever was going on. I mean, during World War I, people talked about living in the last days. During the Civil War, people talked about living in the last days. The Jewish Holocaust, people talked about that being the last days. And, you know, it's been that way throughout history. Mankind thinks that things can't get any worse than what it is during their period or their era in history. But this time, I see a few things that's a little different than there was back then. You know, biblically speaking, when these other things happened, the Bible says that speaks about Israel being a nation. Well, back when these other things happened, Israel was not a nation. You know, Israel did not become a nation until 1948. And once 1948 happened, personally, as an individual, I do believe the time clock began to click at that point. You know, the scripture says, this generation won't pass away till all these things happen. Now, are we that generation? I don't know. I don't know if it was talking about the generation that was born when Israel became a nation. I don't know at what point it's talking about. At what point does that generation begin? And if it does, how long is that generation? So these are different things that, you know, that I ponder in my heart. And thinking about how sick of a society we live in. You know, I mean, I could go off on the deep end and I could say a lot of real negative stuff, but you know, that's not what I do on Porch Time. I don't want to sit around and talk about all kind of negative stuff. What I do want to talk about is just, even though we live in a sick world, is being positive people and having a positive attitude and doing positive things. And sure, the world around us is going to go crazy and it's going to do whatever it needs to do. And you'll have to excuse me, I'm eating pecans. I haven't had much to eat today, so pecans are my way of getting protein back in my system, because I have to have a lot of protein in my body. But you know, I do stay concerned. I don't stay that concerned for myself, but I am concerned for my grandchildren and my children about the kind of world that we're living in. And I do want to be one of those that tries to make a difference. I do want to be one of those that tries to keep some of the, and I hate to use the word old ways, but it seems like that it seems like so many things just get lost. And there is nothing wrong with knowing how to do something. Even if you have to do it by hand, there is nothing wrong with knowing how to do that, because now people call it the old ways, and they only call it the old way because of modern technology. And you have to understand, up until probably a little over 100 years ago, everything was done the same exact way for probably 5,000 or 6,000 years. Man just didn't have any technology other than doing it by hand. It was the only way they knew. And now that we live in this modern society, man thinks if you have to do something by hand that it's an old way and it's just not efficient. And I just can't agree with that. I think that everybody needs to be able to know how to do things. The technical word, I guess, would be know how to do it manually and not electronically. Now, is electronic stuff bad? No. Electronics has made our life a whole lot easier. I mean, the gas engine and stuff like that has made it where we're able to travel and get places a lot faster than we used to, a lot safer than we used to. But people, once again, just abuse that. They get out, they speed, they drink while they're driving and all that kind of stuff, and the statistics go real high that lots of people get killed during certain times of the year just simply because they can't control themselves. They want to get out and drive while they got alcohol in their system or drugs or something like that. And you know, man just not responsible today. Even with this new technology, we're not responsible. And I guess back a long time ago, if a man got drunk and he got on a horse, the worst thing that happened to him is he'd just fall off and get hurt himself. He's not going to run into somebody and kill them. And you know, am I saying we need to go back to horses? No. But what I'm saying is, back then when things were simpler, if you were irresponsible, you wasn't as likely to kill as many people as you would today. And you would, you know, life would just, like I said, if you got drunk or something and you fell off a horse or whatever, you know, the horse run away with you, and you're not really going to hurt anybody but yourself a lot of times. And today in this modern society and the world is just gone sick, people get out and they drink and they carry on and they drive at high rates of speed and end up killing families all at once. You know, I mean, don't get me wrong, back in the old days there were times that people could do things that'd be stupid. They'd come inside and be drunk and mess around, set a fire in the house and burn the house down and kill the whole family. I mean, I know these kind of things happen, but they just weren't as prevalent as they are today. And it just seemed like you just had less of that kind of stuff. And in a world gone mad, you know, we start all these wars today in the name of freedom, and the truth of the matter is freedom don't have anything to do with it. There's usually a hidden agenda behind it. It usually has something to do with oil or some kind of exported product, or, you know, this country wants this that country has, and that country won't make a deal with them, so they go to war with them and try to take it away from them. I just, that kind of stuff just irritates me, you know, and it just shows the sickness and the deprivation of mankind. You know, going into 2017, I was kind of hoping maybe we could get off on a better foot. And I know here at Deep South Homestead, we're going to try to be more self-sufficient. We're going to try to be more self-sustaining. We're going to try to be more encouraging, more positive, more of a loving people than what we are. And we're going to try to help others. We're going to try to set some positive goals for this year, some that's achievable. A few projects we want to try to do here at Deep South Homestead this year, and we want to take y'all along on that journey. And in us doing it, maybe it will spark an interest in some of y'all, or maybe it'll show y'all how to do it. Maybe some of y'all have had projects like that on your mind. I'm not going to say what the projects are at this time because we hadn't really nailed down all of them. But at Wanda and Maya's age, we don't really set real long-term goals. We have some big projects that we want to accomplish, but we'd rather focus on the small goals right now because the journey seems like it's more easily attained, and it makes for some fairly decent YouTube movies. We've also determined this year that we're not going to burden ourselves down with trying to be content creators, I guess would be the way to put it. There's more to life than making movies every day. You know, even though we probably will still make a movie every day, we're going to try this year in 2017 to enjoy ourselves a little more. We're going to try to enjoy other people a little more. You know, granted, is YouTube part of our income? Yeah, YouTube is most of our income. But there's more to life than money. And there's got to be a balance there. As one of all of God's children, I spoke about balance. And there's going to have to be some balance there in 2017, because 2016, Wanda and I pulled this off. We done it with y'all's help. But it took its toll on us. And so 2017, we're going to probably try to work smarter, not harder. Somebody made that comment on one of our videos one time, and I've never forgotten that. I don't remember who it was that said it, and if you're still with us and you remember it, you know, that's fine. But I like that logo, and I may very well use that here in the future on something. But I like that because we're going to be working smarter. We're not going to be working harder. The weather this year looks like we may be easing into an early spring. I'm not 100% sure just yet, but if that's the case, here in probably 3 to 4 weeks, y'all are going to start seeing Wanda and I start putting some seeds in the ground. And you know, that may sound crazy for a lot of y'all. I know Julianne from Dirt Patch Heaven, her and John just can't believe in 3 to 4 weeks we're going to be putting seeds in the ground. And she goes, that's just crazy. She said, it's still months and months away before we can do anything where we live at. But here in the deep south, you know, we have 265 to 268 days a year we can actually grow things. So in 2017, we're going to try to be positive, and we're going to try to take y'all along on some of our journeys. And we're going to try to heal some of our part of this sick world. We're going to do our part in trying to make life better for other people here in our country, people around us, for y'all. We're going to try to make life as easy as we can. We're going to try to show y'all some of the shortcuts and techniques that we use here at Deep South. I'm not going to say that they're going to work, but you know, just like me, when I go through the different YouTube channels, I glean from them and I learn from them. It's like talking to Julianne this past week. All the things that they do up where they live at, I'm amazed at how they do them. Talking about buying animal feed for a year or 2 years in advance, you know, we'd be a fool here to do that. And talk about how the differences between the similarities are of us. And y'all keep your eyes open, because in the very near future, in January, we're hoping to be able to start putting up videos, north versus south, spring, summer, fall and winter videos in the month. We want to try to take 1 week a month and put up a video. I'll take 1 week, Julianne's going to take the next week, if we can pull this off. I'm not saying we're going to be able to, but we're going to try to get these videos up and show y'all some of the differences between the two of us, and from the north and the south, because I really am enjoying this collaboration with Julianne. It's been a real good journey having them here. We've learned a lot. It's like I always say, if you think you know everything, you're in trouble. You're never too old to learn, and I have definitely learned since they've been here. They've really taught us a lot, and I appreciate that. So I think today I'm going to probably close it out right here and tell y'all once again, thank you for watching. Thank you for being a subscriber to us. Be sure to share this video wherever you can. It really helps us out here to be a little bit more self-sustainable on our farm. It helps us kind of keep some of our projects going here. And every time we do a project, you have to understand we're taking y'all along on our journey. And any income we have goes to help make these movies so that y'all can better benefit from watching us do the things, so maybe y'all don't make some of the mistakes we make, because if we make mistakes, we will show it so that we're fair and honest with y'all. And I guess right there is where I'm going to end. I'm going to tell you thank you for watching today. And thank you from Deep South Homestead.